Thank you. Please have a seat. Ryan, Sri, amazing ideas and insights. Hola a todos, soy Ricardo Carvajal y soy líder comercial y de operaciones de Walmart Connect. No los veo, nada más veo las luces, pero espero que estén por ahí. Guys, I'm going to throw a few questions for you. And the first one is going for you, Sri. And retail media is all about, connecting, it's all about making these omnichannel investments. What are the challenges that the marketers face today for that?
The answer is very simple. The challenge is in the mind. They actually don't have you, not they. You don't have a challenge. You look to service providers like Walmart to convince you that retail media is important. But yet, retail media is the only full funnel marketing engine. The moment a marketer and an agency understands, I can actually exploit that for my brand, that challenge vanishes in 3 seconds. Today, that is the single biggest challenge. Inside a brand, a company, inside an agency, it's the dollar investment. How do I get more dollars? How you get more dollars? If you remove the challenge, it is full funnel advertising. Acquisition, conversion. I can sell more, but to sell more, I acquire more, challenge goes away. The budget will show up at the door.
And let me take that thought, and I don't know, Brian, you were going to say something, or can I ask you something?
You can ask me something.
Okay,
so, yeah,
perfect. So with regard to that, you said that there were 3 main growth drivers, which is basically moving up the funnel, the omnichannel attribution, and lastly, in-store retail media.
Yes.
Okay? So what could be the best way to approach that for a marketer nowadays?
I think the best way to approach it is to build on what Sri said and really start to do that full funnel, full journey thinking, right? So really thinking about what are the marketing jobs to be done at each stage of the journey and figuring out what the right creative is and then what the right audience is to reach with, and then what the right time is. So really making sure that program is synchronized. I mean, one of the things that retail media networks, and we were talking about this before, one thing all retail media networks want to do is to stand on their own as a valuable media property, right? So to be the media partner of choice. Like you would want to be a great media partner even if you weren't part of Mexico's largest retailer. But the advantage is that you are as well. So how do we really think about making sure that we tie all that together so that we're using the omni-channel reach of a retail media platform to do all the jobs that need to be done between brand awareness and conversion? And then how do we then really think about the in-store componentry to it? And then for so many categories here, that in-store selection criteria is so important. And in-store obviously can mean the digital store or the physical store. But most of the time when people talk in-store, they're talking physical store. From a digital store point of view, we have to have all of our digital content nailed, right? Like I've got to get the basics right. Like my product description pages have to look good. My brand imagery has to work. All that good basic stuff. Critically important. On the in-store side, it's going to be really important to understand where's the shopper in the journey when they get to the shelf? And then what's the right creative to push them that last few yards to conversion? Because that'll be different by category. The shopper who's buying vegetable oil is going to have a different problem to solve than the shopper who's buying makeup. So the role of in-store media is going to have to do different things based on the category. And then obviously using the analytic engines that Walmart Connect continues to build for brands and agencies to measure so that I can really show how powerful and effective this platform is.
So Brian mentioned creative. We called everybody in this room a transformation agent, a change agent, making great things happen. So I have a homework for you tonight. Not tonight, tomorrow, because tonight there'll be plenty of tequila, so tomorrow only. So the homework is artificial intelligence, the best case of artificial intelligence and applied artificial intelligence is personalization of the creative. As a brand marketer or as an agency, you are about to, in the next 6 months, experience this opportunity to talk to the consumer, the shopper, the customer, one-on-one with the help of AI and creative. So that is your homework tomorrow, and then to come back to Walmart Mexico and say, help me do it.
And using the data that Walmart has, and even if it's not personalization, the cohortization, I guess, if that's a word, AI can help you, instead of having to run 1 or maybe 2 campaign ideas maximum, AI can get you to 50 or 100 fairly quickly, and then I can test and learn off those in an extremely rapid way, and then use analytics to figure out what's working most effectively. I can build best practice so much faster when I'm doing more things, and that's really the power that AI has. It's not just what it can do, it's how fast it can let you learn.
You're giving away a lot of our presentation, so I think we can all go now.
Well, we can
Sorry, John.
We're just trying to get everybody to the tequila faster. That's really our only job.
We love it, and obviously we are aligned on what it needs to happen
By the way, we didn't practice this.
No, we didn't.
No, we certainly
they
did
just
not.
arrived, so yeah.
That will become obvious.
Exactly. So, Sri, you already faced those challenges. It's not been long ago since you were a chief commercial officer for General Mills. So tell me a little bit about you investing on Walmart Connect.
Yeah. If you think about it, the answer is again very straightforward, right? The largest business model in the US, Mexico, for any large brand is Walmart. It is the largest number of stores, distribution points, size of the store, this many thousand square meters inside, the ability to work with merchants who are very hungry to bring innovation, and they want to be the first to bring innovation. So the choice to invest with Walmart was not that hard. I knew I had to do it running, a very large sales unit in North America for General Mills. What was hard is marketers did not understand that retail media is media. So they would always tell me, you take money from EDLP and you put it into retail media. Do it as trade, bottom of the line of a P&L. And I would say, absolutely not, because if retail media is full funnel, then the number one piece of full funnel is basically all the way up top, impressions. And for in my career of 30 years, marketers would always argue with me, impressions is the most important metric. When I led sales, I would say, no, sales is. And all of a sudden now, the tables were turned. If impressions is the most important metric, and we need more impressions, because in the last 18 months, business is declining worldwide for large brands. If you don't have impressions, you're not going to get the sale. I turned the tables and said, if you want impressions, is media. Hello, retail media. And then slowly we had to hack away one by one, off-site, on-site, figure out the inventory, because there was a lot of temptation, let's put everything in search. Because search gives you fake ROI, makes everything looks good. It's not good ROI, search is bad ROI, because it's just fake. It just makes, again, it's just artificial. So the second part, after convincing marketing, you have to invest. Take it out of linear TV, where you cannot personalize everything, and you can at least do what Bryan said, which is in cohorts. Second part was then breaking down and making sure we are investing the inventory the right way, which means the third part came into place, which is I would literally, and I know many of you experience this today, I would fight with our marketing analytics team that retail media has, not negotiable, not could be, would be, should be, retail media has to be part of the marketing mix. So in next year's budget, it has to be automatic. I will not come begging. If you don't give me that, I will not put your innovation in store. Simple.
And two builds on that. One, for all what Sri said about how important Walmart is to brands in the United States, it's way more important to brands in Mexico than it is in the United States. While Walmart's average share of market in Mexico is about 2x what Walmart's is in the US. So, and two, 1B to that is that, I mean, I'm not just saying this because I'm here, but people ask all the time, what are the best retailers in the world? I've been studying retail around the world for 30 years. I'll always say Walmart Mexico, and people are like, Walmart? I'm like, no, Walmart in Mexico. This operation here, the degree of sophistication, the ability to reach all of the tiers of consumer segments through a wide range of formats, that whole conversation about the best ecosystem, Walmart US can't have that. Walmart US doesn't have Cashi. They don't have Bait. They don't have any of the internet access platforms or any of that stuff. The way that Walmart touches consumers here is so much more holistic than it is in the States, that it's not only a bigger business for a lot of brands, it's a more interesting one. So I think that's one. I think second, the other big piece of media that's going to shift dramatically for a bunch of reasons over the next 2 or 3 years is search. And those of you in the beauty business know this already. No one searches for beauty products anymore. Like if you're trying to find a beauty product, you're on TikTok. And if you're still trying to reach consumers through Google AdWords in the beauty category, you are older than me.
Brian's not young, by the way.
And I'm older than Sri, so I'm really old. So I think there's a lot to this idea that relevant search is happening in commercial context, and that's what I think Walmart Connect brings to the table.
Obviously, this is music to my ears, and this was not rehearsal, and this was not a script.
Y'all are buying us dinner, so we're being nice to you.
But actually, we are having that conversations with many of our partners and clients, and they are bringing to the table all the marketing, media, and strategies to the table. So yeah, I believe this is happening, and we are glad to hear that it's happening not everywhere, basically, okay? So one last word of advice from you to our partners before we go.
One last word of advice. I can't say anything in one word. I'm not capable. So I'll give you two. I think number one is that you are all in the middle of something that is a broad transformation of how brands talk to consumers and how retail sell to shoppers. And that's all changing. So retail media is part of that change, but it's not all of that change. And you are all, to some degree, especially those of you that don't work for Walmart Connect here, are all ambassadors back to your own organization to show them what's happening. If any of you are fans of the American show Game of Thrones, you're like the people on the wall looking at the zombies coming, right? So everybody's down in King's Landing arguing about who gets to be queen that day. And you're like, no, there are zombies over here. This is really happening. We really need to change. So find the passion to be an ambassador and an advocate and an enthusiastic cheerleader for the change that you see. And I think that's a tremendous opportunity for you, not just from a business point of view, but from a career point of view. I think this is you're all at a really unusual and terrific moment.
I'll give you a simple advice, the story of my career. I got stuck in my early 40s, working in the in-store model is the only way. I actually hated digital. I was not born with an Android or iPhone or smartphone in my hand. And one day, the chief customer officer of a Frito-Lay, who I was working for, I was working in the dollar drug convenience channel. And he asked me and said, I want you to start e-commerce. And I thought my career was over.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
I called my friend Brian and said, this guy's crazy.
Suicide, yeah.
It's like ending my career. Like I thought of resigning, but when I went home, Brian said, no, this is good for you. My wife said to me, you have to be smart enough to know if somebody more senior gives you a piece of advice, you should at least try. Then give up, walk away, but try. 30 days later, I fell in love with the omnichannel journey. Eventually, I got to be maybe the first president of sales in North America for a $10 billion plus business who had an omnichannel background.
That's true.
That's how my career transformed. I promise you, we already called you change agents. We called you transformation agents. Your career will change with leadership in the space. But most importantly, don't just do it for your career. Don't do it for Brian. Don't do it for Walmart Connect. Don't do it for me. Who do you do this transformation for? The customer. The customer needs you to champion this space, and build a seamless omni-channel 360 experience. If you don't, you lose business. That easy.
Great. Wow. Guys, it's been great talking to you. Wonderful having you here in Mexico with us and sharing all of this information with our partners. So thank you very much.